Well, hello there. I hope you didn't think I was going to stop with the bees today just because we're on a different episode. No, it's time to make some more and go even further. Because we need to fill up that hive and a whole lot more. Because as you can see, I've been moving stuff around. Hello everybody, I'm Arden. Welcome to another episode of All the Mods 8. And today we are going to continue on with our bee obsession. As you can see, I made a little test hut right here to fill it up, make sure I understood how to make the bees. They've been producing plenty of honey and combs. If we come around to the side, you can see that I have an item pipe from Pipes, pulling items out of the advanced beehive down into this spruce chest, which has a whole bunch in it now. If you are unfamiliar with the Pipes mod, it's basically a rebuild of the mechanism pipes to be much less resource intensive. It was somebody who finally got tired of all of the lag from the mechanism ones. They are functionally the same other than the fact that they have a slightly different wrench. Well, and they also have a universal pipe, which can pipe in all of the different materials. So, it's pretty much just better all around than just using the mechanism ones if you have an ability, which we do in this mod pack. They're also generally cheaper to make than the mechanism pipes, or at least more generalized since they don't require all the alloys and whatnot. Anyhow, behind me, you can see that I have moved on to the next step of actually trying to make the productive bees. And I started out by getting one hive that had a green carpenter bee in it that was floating around this area, and then realized you could actually make the other nests. And this is important because these nests have a chance of randomly spawning one of multiple different types of bees. And these are the bees that you need to breed together to get other types of bees. So we start with this green carpenter bee and look at its breeding entry inside JEI. You can see that we take a yellow and a green, we can get a lumber bee. And the lumber bees produce wood based off of whatever wood they have in front of them instead of having a flower there. Anyhow, once you have one of those nests made or found, you can then put a honey treat in. And the honey treats are made from a honeycomb and a honey bottle, or just a whole bunch of honeycombs and a honey block, which is also made from the bottles. So it's about the same price. And then you just right click it on an empty nest. Like this one says it's empty right now. And if I were to put a honey treat in it, it would have a chance of either getting me an ashy mining bee, a chocolate mining bee, or a digger bee. Now I've got to be clear, I've already done this. I actually have all three in storage, stored in bee cages right now, because we're going to need the ashy mining bee later. Now I've already made one of these just to make sure I knew what I was doing, but let's pop these out because I'm going to need a lot more anyways. Let's feed them some flowers to get them to breed. And out pops a baby bee, which are devilishly hard to catch. I really need to start caging these in. Alright, finally got it, but I really need to create an area probably right around here to do bee breeding in, because that was painful. So what I need to do next is actually make a larger area where I'm going to put a whole bunch of beehives. So I want to do them in these 4x2 cells like this, where I'm going to have 20 of a given type of bee all in one spot, because the honey doesn't seem to get made all that fast. And while that doesn't matter too much when I just need to make honey treats or something, it's going to matter when I'm trying to process ore out of it. So let's see how this works. This should be about 20 bees each. This is going to take a while to produce, and I'm not entirely happy with this design yet. Obviously, it's not finished, and I'm still working on it. So let me go figure this in a breeding room out. Alright, so I think I settled on a design that I generally like here with the 4x2 inner room there, separating the cells with this, with the bamboo walls and the eucalyptus posts. I also kind of like how the stairs create an indented look on the front to give a little bit of depth. And I'm really liking the fact that we have stripped logs in this, unlike all of, 1.12. But I've also done a bit more breeding, because as you can see, there's new bees here, and there's bees back here. Well, you can't see them because they're hiding in their boxes right now. Unsociable little buggers. There we go. So this is a lumber bee behind me, this blue one right here. They harvest wood. If you can sort of see down there, you can see I've got a feeding tray with some logs in there. Fun fact, they are not restricted to those feeding trays. This will work with us in the future once we create the simulator upgrade, because this makes it so the bees don't actually come out of the boxes. They just use whatever's in the tray in front of them. But for the time being, they are out now also gathering these eucalyptus as well as the strip birch down there, in addition to the witch hazel that I found I don't like growing because they're humongous trees. Next to them are quarry bees, which gather stone and gravel, and in my case, which you can't really see down there, but is sand. And I'm doing the sand because I don't want to have to dig up any sand near my base and make things even uglier than they already are, and I need sand for bottles to get honey. But if we come over here to the side where I've got this chest to output stuff into, you can see that I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff. So honeycombs, honey, and then a bunch of log chips and sand chips, which all combine into their respective blocks. That said, there is an upgrade to make them put out blocks instead of those chips, which I actually should hurry up and do. My main blocker right now is these wax blocks, which can only be made by centrifuging honeycombs into wax, which I could go do. I could go make the manual one, but I've got other stuff I want to do first, because while I've got this set up, there is one more bee that I desperately want to get started. And as you can see, I have been breeding some other ones. I've got the vanilla ones right here. Inside there, I've got the 2 carpenter bees, although I had one die on me mysteriously, so I had to make it a bit bigger, and I still don't know how it works. And over here, I have a digger bee and a chocolate bee, which also came from the same hive that I need the 3rd bee from to make the iron bee, because we needed an ashy mining bee. The problem is we also need a crystalline bee. And the crystalline bee comes from a quartz nest, which comes from the nether and can only be bred in the nether. And this is a problem for a couple of reasons. Because one, we either need to find a nest in the nether and feed it treats to populate it, which might be doable, I don't know. Or we need a silk touch pickaxe because we need quartz ore to make the nest out of, because you've got to combine it with a sword. So I think we're just going to go look around. I was, however, going to do a bit with my community and have them, toss me a bunch of obsidian and try to stall making a diamond pickaxe for a while. And, well, while doing this, I went to go talk to somebody, and then I went to go raid the dungeon in the village to go get some more loot out of it, because it's humongous and there's tons in there. And I found 2 things. One, I found a diamond pickaxe. Yep. And there's also obsidian down there, so I don't even have to go find or make obsidian. And 2, I found an iron backpack from Sophisticated Backpacks. And it's the fancy one that you see in a lot of other modded Minecraft series that like pretty much everyone uses these days, where it has a whole bunch of slots. It's got a bunch of upgrade slots that include things like a liquid tank and power upgrades and stuff like that. You can wear it on your back, you can set it on the ground. It's all sorts of great. Yet, like see, doop, on my back. All sorts of fancy. Anyhow, so what I think I'm going to do is, besides sleep to make a day again, is I'm going to go grab some of that obsidian that I found, and then we are going to go crack open a portal to the nether, and I'm going to go see if I can go find a nest or not. Alright, well I guess let's fire this up and go see how bad this is going to be. Well, at least it didn't start me directly over the lava. We are just still up very, very high, so I guess let me go do some exploring real fast. Okay, yeah, this is a horrifying location for having an ender portal at. I guess I'm going to have to burrow my way through that and try to find a safe way down or over or something. This is just... I guess I could put a dirt bridge across, but this is going to be horrifying to explore. Hooray. Man, I can just not catch a break here. I finally get down quite a bit via a block laddering down into this sand area here, and I'm still quite a bit above the lava, and... we're nowhere to really go to, so this is kind of unpleasant. There's also all sorts of Apotheosis bosses just spawning like non-stop while I'm doing this. Well, on the upside, I found the portal to my friend Pip's base, so that's progress. Let's go see if he's done anything with it yet, though. And he's still living outside like a savage, but at least he picked an interesting terrain to do it in. Oh hey, I probably should use this waystone. Boop. Well, I don't know what that shelf is, but that actually looks pretty nice. I should probably figure out what that is. And that is an Apotheosis boss. That's what I was talking about. Those were happening like every 20 seconds or so for a while, every time I moved into a new area. They're usually pretty rare on the overworld. Maybe we should go see how bad this is. Okay, I gotta be clear. I was gonna go get killed by it for your amusement, but I couldn't find it. I think it despawned. Alright, so I finally found a biome with quartz ore in it, and I don't want to discuss how long this took and how hard this was to even get to, because you can see, I mean, it doesn't look like I've explored a very large area, but like this whole area is just absolutely insane to traverse through. There's no safe way to find anything in here. This is not the nether I know and remember. This is just awful. But I did find this little dungeon full of striders with a strider spawner, and I have no idea what to do with this other than leave it alone. But I guess now I either need to find a hive and hope one of these is a nest, or I need to come back with Silk Touch, and that part will be awful. Alright, so we were out of luck, so we were going to try this the hard way. So I made an enchanting table and raided the dungeon for a bunch of books to make the bookshelves with. Now, this is the Apotheosis version, which is different, and it's showing these, which I don't know what these do yet, honestly. And the other thing I noticed is that when you put these in, it does show it as normal. But if I take this one out and say put this diamond one in, it shows the exact same enchants. So I think this is now locked per item you put in. So I guess let's do this and see what happens. Well, that sure isn't Silk Touch. Oh, and of course I didn't find enough enchanting bottles to get back up to 30. But it doesn't look like this has Silk Touch anyways, so unless we get lucky, we need to go grind out some more XP. I need to probably go get some more diamonds as well. Alright, so I did some more looking into how Apotheosis works, and I added some more things here like candles, because I realized that you can add more to these than what we have here. The limit is significantly higher than just the 15 bookcases I have in this case. It includes things other than bookcases. Inside JEI, you can look up the 3 different types in here. So I've got Arcana selected. You can see that it has some special bookcases here that affect multiple stats, but it also includes candles that give a passive Arcana bonus. I have no idea what the best layout for this is, and it seems awfully fiddly and requires a bunch of stuff. And there's an easier way. And I was going to show you how to do the easier way, but Pip left me a present here when I was offline. And this present is this pickaxe right here made from Silent Gear, which is exactly what I was going to do. It's made out of brass. But I set up some other stuff to show you exactly how Silent Gear's stuff works, because it's a Tinker's Construct replacement, because I also need an axe anyways. So Silent Gear's stuff all starts with blueprint paper, at least for the non-expendable version. There are these templates that are single use, and they're a bit cheaper to make because it's just log and flint, whereas the blueprint does require blue dye of some sort in paper, but this is not hard to obtain even early in the game, so I don't know why the templates actually exist for the most part. But you start with a blueprint, and from the blueprint, you then pick which blueprint you want to make from it. In this case, I want the axe one, which is basically blueprint in an axe pattern. From there, to actually make something with it, you take that over to a crafting table and add a blueprint and the materials you want to use to make it. In this case, it requires an axe, 3 pieces of material of any sort, and then a compound tool rod, which is itself another blueprint. Now, different materials all have different stats. If you hold down control, it will show you what all it adds. If you then hit Z or C, if there's multiple options available for different slots, you can see what the different variations are. It has it in that bar at the top in the middle there. And it tells you what it can do. What I haven't found is anything that tells you what those attributes actually mean. I assume magnetic's the same as Tinker's Construct, but I couldn't tell you what malleable and flexible are. You're just gonna have to look it up in the wiki. But to make it, we just add the axe blueprint here. We add our 3 brass because they all have to be the same material, and then we add a tool rod, in which case I'm using bamboo for flexible 3, whatever that means. And then we now have a Silk Touch axe. Because upon going into Apotheosis, I realized different bookcases give different power and different stats, and I might have to rip these out, and I move them around, and I don't want to have to rebuild them if I can avoid it, to be completely honest. But anyhow, I now have the Silk Touch pickaxe that I need, so I guess we should go back to the Nether. Now, I should note that one of the things I did do was move my Nether portal. The other one was right up above me up there. Oh, hello. Of course, this would happen when I'm monologuing, right standing next to lava. Anyhow, I built a staircase up to that platform over there, because this just puts me a hop, skip, and a jump away from Pip's base, which is just behind those trees over there. So it's a much closer and much easier to get to now, instead of way up there where I was stuck before. Anyhow, let me go see if I can find my way back to the quartz. And of course, I find a boss on the way there that's literally directly in my way. Oh! Well, that's unfortunate. And of course, he was one shot away from being dead. But he dropped this, which that actually seems pretty great. I don't know if it's better than what I've got. 3 armor versus 8 armor. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the other one, but that is pretty nice. Alright, took me a little bit, but thankfully I didn't die this time. So now let's just grab a couple pieces of this. Because what we need to do now is take an iron sword, take the nether quartz ore, and hollow it out and make it a nest. And we probably should make a couple of these so that we can breed them together to get the bees that we need. Alright, got a pair of crystalline bees from that quartz hive that I put in the nether. Let's drop it down and let's see if we can actually breed them here or not. Oh no, I can catch it. You know it helps if I have the other one that I need out as well. Okay, you and you. Okay, good, the baby popped out. And now we have an aluminum bee, which is not the bee I'd wanted to make, but I think it's somewhat random. Yeah, it looks like ashy and crystalline can make a handful of different types. So this is the copper bee here. It can also make the tin bee, the aluminum bee, and the iron bee. But the important part is this is just the first of a bunch of the mineral bees that we need to make so that we don't ever have to go mining, because I am, if nothing else, lazy, even though I have been super enjoying exploring down those caves. And we'll probably still continue doing some of that because I still clearly need a bunch of materials, including diamonds, which we are direly short of. But this has been actually a long couple days getting this all set up so far for me, and I think this is probably a good stopping point for today. If you would like to join us, please join our Discord. The link should be below or in the description of the video or on the About page on my channel. If you found this video interesting or entertaining, please consider leaving a like or subscribe if you're new. As always, I'm Ard. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.